I'm out here gardening again with Jordan. He's actually a real gardener, and I am that guy who everybody hates because I kill everything. So the Potpourri Farm is on Monday Road down the street from me, and he has got this massive greenhouse, and I'll just take you around real quick, and then I'll come back and Jordan can give us some wisdom. So he starts everything in here, and if you want to buy from him, he's local, so support him. It's Paul and Lila. They are awesome. They are retired, and this is what they do now. It's all sorts of stuff in here. I'm gonna have to take you around. Jordan will have to come with me on the next and tell you actually what everything is. But I bet you he's gonna say they're labeled. He's just gonna be able to read the labels, and he'll like look way smarter. But in reality, he is smarter. So I didn't get to show you the process here, but there was a whole bunch of
large red cherry tomatoes.
Large red cherry tomatoes, which we have labeled. We took them apart out of this tray, mostly Jordan. I just showed up a little bit ago. And there is a routine. I don't really remember. It was jam your finger in, move it around, about up to your second knuckle, and then you put the little sprig?
Yeah.
Twig?
Little seedling?
Seedling, there you go.
Seedling.
Sapling? Somethingling? They take the little guy, put them in there and cover them back up. I'm gonna make sure they're standing up and not broken. So we hold a bunch of them that we're not gonna make it. And now he's re-watering them to make sure they are fully engaged.
Trying not to get them to fall into the flood.
Don't be confused about they might be giants in their old album Flood. This is different.
This is a different phenomenon,
but
definitely still acoustically pleasing.
And it's more like if you were to play Halo and the flood was coming after you.
Yeah.
That's actually more like what this is, because the water just never stops. Actually, that's probably where they got the name. It just the flood.
They just ran out of enemies in the Halo series. They had to.
They killed the progenitors.
Yeah, 'cause they're like, let's.
I thought the progenitors would have been the humans.
See that I like the interesting twists. I like the twists in like Homeworld, that game.
Yep.
Because they're like, hey, we figured out space travel and how to warp around. Oops, we broke a treaty we didn't know about. It's 4,000 years old and I blew up our planet. Like, awesome.
So I've never played the game, but I have read the books.
The Homeworld books?
The Halo books. So
yeah.
that makes me extra dorky. That I listened to a book that's
About a game.
made about a game. Here you go. This is how it works. So he jams his finger in there, super delicate, just like, oh no, look, there's a hole. Then he gently puts it in there and covers it up with his hands, so I can't film it perfectly, and it's not film anyway. And then he tappity, tappity, tappity.
Tippity tappities.
There he goes. That's how it works. Oh.
Trying to just get one of the streams. In
Yeah,
there.
I see that. While flooding the others. Fortunately, when you work in a greenhouse, when you get dirt and water everywhere, it's actually okay because
All dirt.
it's a greenhouse. He's actually got a lot of cool stuff outside too. It's out this way. If you want to come volunteer to work here to learn, he is awesome to learn from. Actually, Jordan as well. Paul is great to learn from. And sometimes I should have brought some. I bring eggs down here for him.
They'll look very watermelon-y.
These look like watermelon.
Mm-hmm. Chipotle?
Chipotle watermelon. Is it the actual seeds or?
A bag of seeds.
Okay. Well, he's looking for a bag of. Actually, what are these? What are you know stuff? What are
She
these?
did not tell me.
Oh,
I did not know
snap.
flowers well.
Just make it up. What are they?
Oh, these are carnelias and ornamentariums.
Cornelius ornamentariums. I like it.
Yeah, really good.
What about some of that? You know what some of that is?
These look like some peppers.
Yeah, he does a lot of peppers.
Yeah, sweet banana peppers.
Nice, you got it right.
That looks like, yeah, I was gonna say.
Wouldn't these do?
like
Not,
a brassica?
wouldn't these do not as good because the sun is they're underneath, or does?
Early on, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
'cause
matter.
They might have just planted them and they're waiting for them to come up.
So you hear that? It doesn't matter. And we did learn something today. If you put some of your own home dirt or their dirt in your home, then it helps inoculate it. So if you're gonna do a garden and you wanna be awesome, bring your own dirt and put it on top and let it grow with some inoculation. I'm gonna take you outside so you can see. Let's see, so this is part of the garden. I'm just about to walk right through it. Looks like it's not planted up yet. There's a whole lot more garden back here. Looks like they're waiting to plant over there too. Got a lot of cool stuff here. So in addition to growing your own food for fun and freedom, it's just better for you because you know where it came from. And we're doing, well, I'm not doing anything. I watered. Jordan's doing melon seeds. He's basically just poking up to his first knuckle a little bit and then putting one in and then covering it a little bit. His hands are super sticky now.
Yeah. Got an extra seed from one of those. Trying to visualize them all going down.
And so, is there a specific process to this? Like, can you get it wrong?
If you go too deep or too shallow, you'll...
So there is a get it wrong.
Yeah.
Sort of. So the rough idea is your knuckle, first knuckle.
About a half an inch, yeah.
So it's like a pinch of salt. So it's not that you don't just lay it on the top and don't drill it to the bottom.
Right.
But you don't have to take a measuring tape out and measure half an inch.
Yeah, if you feel half your finger disappear, it's not going to go well for you or the seed.
Yeah.
And then once you have it punched in, you just cover it back up, give it a light tap, and then you re-water it, and then you let it sit.
So it's not rocket science, but you do need to come out and like do something.
Yeah.
This is why I'm here. I'm just learning. Much like music, plants don't make any sense to me. If I try to keep beat, it doesn't work. If I try to like name any of these vegetables, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Actually, I know that one over there is broccoli. That looks like broccoli or cauliflower. See, I don't know. The one in front of me, it's got the trellis, so it's got to be a cherry tomato thingy of some sort. But I only know because of the yellow thing. I don't understand why it doesn't like click in my head.
Oh, a lot of it, like your broccoli and your collards and your Brussels sprouts and cabbage will all start out when it comes up. It's like, yeah, it looks the same. And then it starts to differentiate.
And then it doesn't. I will say that while you're gardening, your deep squat is amazing with a barbell.
Not great.
But out here, you're like loose and relaxed and enjoying, and you're
yeah, you settle in because you're like
you're settled in. Yeah.
You start here and then you settle in.
He's like, and he's got no complaints. His back isn't hurting. He's got his foot wrapped with love. I mean.
Yeah, I got 2 socks and a big ace bandage, but I don't want to show you right now.
Yeah, no.
Put mud all over my
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd show you my abs too, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
Break the
I don't want
limbs,
everybody to be upset about how
I'm quitting this podcast.
abolitious I am.
Around the root dry on this much.
So about 1.5 inches down.
Yeah.
Stand them up. Put some loose mulch around them to
Keep the water from all drying up.
And these are some onions that my wife got a hold of.
Yeah, it'll be good. That's some tenacious horse poop is what that is.
Does this need to go into anything? It's good like that, or should we hide it somewhere?
You can hide it because we're not going to use it directly until we like make another garden bed.
Okay, so I'll put it in. I guess the water doesn't matter. It pours off of it.
Yeah,
Then it doesn't matter.
It lives in the water.
Yeah. And then what we got here? So we're gonna do
some bush beans and some spinach.
We'll go in this guy.
No, they'll grow well. About 20 inches apart. I like to be exact. You see this? You see how exact it is?
I know. I like that. This is my type of measurements.
Mm-hmm. That's how I cook too. Like you don't want.
Yeah. It annoys some of my family that I don't have recipes.
No, that's what Jill always asks me. Like, oh, what what are we eating? I was like, it doesn't have a name.
You can make it up.
It's like, I can tell you the ingredients, but it's going to take you a minute. Do you have a pen? So we're just going to do 4 inches.
I also don't season anything so that people can season to their liking.
Oh.
And my family hates that too. Like,
Yeah,
well, I just don't put salt on stuff, and you guys use a ton of salt. So what's the point?
Yeah, you got to make sure everybody's happy. And if the chef isn't happy, then...
It's really just me being happy. They actually know also if they complain, they get to cook dinner next. So there's a lot less complaining these days.
That's what I was hearing last time we were over here. Yeah. We briefly have some substitute chefs, depending on their comments at the last minute.
They've learned. They also know not to say during the summer, I'm bored, because as soon as they say that, they get chores.
We got activities.
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, let's go learn to process some chickens. They're like, oh, man, I was just kidding.
So most of these will just grow. Volunteer bean, no. And then they'll go down 1/2 inch. And then we'll cover them with a little bit more soil, so it'll be a little deeper than that, so that we have a little bit of a mulch aspect going. Each one 12 inches apart. Is that a drink? Oh, yeah, no.
It was some whiskey.
Some light whiskey. So we'll do. So what's probably going to work best for this is to just plant rows and then thin them as they get 6 inches apart. If you see plants that are like, yeah, that's 6 inches
Too many?
apart,
Yeah.
take off the extra.
You just eat them?
You can definitely just eat them or throw them to the chickens.
Yeah, that's true. You have some of those.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, you'll end up spending like 45 minutes for a mouthful.
Mm.
Or you just
That's microgreens.
Right. Yeah. People pay big money for those.
Oh yeah.
Stop it. Litter. Spinach is a chronically inconsistent grower in my experience. And that could be user error. Sometimes you soak the seeds before you plant them. Sometimes you get them to germinate inside first. And still, they're inconsistent.
So they're so consistent, they're inside of consistent.
That's right.
Yep. They're inconsistent.
That's good.
Standard joke.
Been using it for years.
Yep. 1 second faster, 1 rep more, and
yeah. So I don't see any reason not to just throw all these seeds in, because we got other bags of them if we need them. And if we're like, oh, this is coming up good, we'll have other garden beds going, and we can just be like, transplant.
there you go.
So.
Or if you don't want to do any of this, just go to the potpourri farm down the street from us and get all of your seedlings grown.
That's right.
All your seeds grown into seedlings.
They have spinach waiting for you right now.
They do. How long until they shoot up out of the ground?
Well, we can read this particular. It says
Why would you read the instructions?
8 to 10 days.
Oh, dang. What if the frost comes?
Not as good.
Okay.
But they said this is the time to plant. And if we mess everything up, we got more.
There you go. Seeds are cheap. Time is somewhat cheap.